Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the 3D market commentary. I'm just going to put the disclaimers up. There they are, top left hand corner. Please read them, if not just for legal reasons, but to also understand what you can expect from this kind of video. Now, my name is Becky. My email address is here. She says, there it is. It's becky@tradictive.com. And there's also support@tradictive.com, so you can email us on either one of those if you have any questions. Now, there's also another place you can go for questions, which is here, tradewithufos.com/Becky. Now, from this link, you can get platforms and apps, you can book one-on-one coaching, but you can also come down and log in to this bit here, ask a question in public, we can then answer it in public, and we all learn from the same place. So ideally, that's where you'd go to post questions. Now, I know I'm probably getting a little bit of a glare here on my glasses, so let's take them off. Okay, so what is a 3D market commentary? Well, we send out an email every day to our free members. It looks like this on the left-hand side. And of course, that is relative to market data. So we'll have a look at each of these things as we go through. Now, this email that we send out has information on 5 major world markets, and for each of the markets, we look at 3 separate elements. That's why we call it the 3D approach or the 3D market commentary. Now, the first element we look at is market climate. Basically, what this means is, where do we have probabilities? Are probabilities up, down, or nowhere? Now, all of the probabilities that we look at are for daily charts for each of these markets. Of course, different things happen on different time frames. Everything we talk about here is relative to a daily chart. So where are the probabilities? Up, down, or nowhere? We use an app to show us, or to help us. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms, you can get it on. And if it shows us a red dot, that tells us probability is down. If it shows us a blue dot, that tells us probability is up. If it shows us a thin dot of either colour, that tells us probability is neither way. So again, we're using an app to tell us where the probabilities are and give us that market climate, that market direction. Then what we want to know is, where should we buy and sell specifically? At what prices? And we use another app here called AutoUFOs, which show us where big stacks of buyers are, in the case of these green UFOs, and big stacks of sellers, in the case of these red UFOs. Why do we want to know where the big stacks of buyers and sellers are? Because the more buyers we have, the more likely price is to go up. The more sellers we have, the more likely price is to go down. So we want to know where lots of buyers and lots of sellers are, because it shows us where price is more likely to move from. So we'll look at that per market. Then we'll look at market volatility, which is how quickly these markets are expected to move within given periods of time. So we will look at each of these elements per market. Starting with the S&P 500, so let's get that up. So with the S&P 500, we have a thick blue dot here. That is probability to the upside, so confirmed upwards climate. Now, we are at the start of what would be a usual move to the upside, so we have room for it to continue based on what usually happens. We also have no sellers above us, no sell orders there at all. And we have buyers here at 4479.75 to 4436.25. That's where we have buyers. So overall probability up here for the S&P on a daily chart. In terms of volatility, we would expect the S&P to move up or down in 1 year of 20.55%. So that means that in 1 day, we'd expect it to move up or down by 60.59 points. So in a week, that's 133.38 points, and in a month, 277.65 points. So that's the S&P. So top 500 US stocks. The next market is oil. So let's take a look at this one. As I load it, just to highlight here about the different courses that we do a bunch of different courses, so by all means check them out. Bear in mind as well, most of them come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms, you can get it on anyway. AutoUFOs is a paid for app, depending on which platform you use, depends on what it costs, but it's a monthly subscription. So oftentimes it's cheaper actually to get a course and get 3 months free access to the apps and get both of them together than it would be to just use the apps. So check that out. But like I said, you can subscribe directly to AutoUFOs if you want and do it just on that subscription basis. So coming back to oil, oil has a thin dot here on our AutoClimate. That tells us it's an unconfirmed climate. Not enough probabilities in either direction Therefore, we do nothing. There's no need to trade something that doesn't have clear probabilities one way or the other. Now, we do have buyers beneath us at 69.49 to 62.43. We have sellers above us, a little bit further ahead of us here, at 79.23 to 77.98. At the moment, closer to the buyers, but unlikely to really see much movement today, or much impact from these buyers today. Overall, not enough probabilities either way. On oil, on a daily chart, so change timeframes, change market. In terms of volatility with oil, we would expect that price would move up or down in a year of 45.22%. So in a day, that's 2.05 points up or down. In a week, 4.51 points up or down. And in a month, 9.38 points up or down. So that is oil. Now the next market is gold. So let's load that. And as I load it, I'm going to highlight down here about coaching and support. For some of you, obviously, this might be the first time you've ever watched one of our videos. We do a lot of coaching and support for free on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, places like that. You can join us on our coaching sessions. We answer all your questions by email and by forums, all for free as well. Now, we do have a closed coaching community, which is a small monthly fee where people have access to more of our time in a closed environment. But like I said, we offer lots of support for free as well anyway. So with gold, we have confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot probability downwards. Now we have gone past what would be normal in terms of a move to the downside. So we're kind of overextended to the downside at the minute, but we still have probability down. We have sellers all the way up here at 1873.3 to 1844.2, and buyers all the way down here at 1652.8 to 1624.4. And we're kind of in the middle here, not really close enough to either one to see any real movement from them today. So overall, probability coming to the downside from the climate, but we're a little bit overextended. So not fully probable, shall we say, but still slightly probable to the downside. In terms of volatility, we'd expect that gold would move up or down in 1 year by 16.48%. So in a day, that's 18.52 points up or down. In a week, 40.78 points up or down. And in a month, 84.88 points up or down. So that's gold. Now the next market is the US dollar. As I load the dollar, just want to explain quickly, of course, that everything we're talking about here is about probabilities and statistics, not guarantees. Nothing's guaranteed in life, definitely not in the markets. We don't know for certain that anything's going to happen. But as traders, we want to be making sure that our action is to do with what's more likely to happen. So that's why we use this technology. That's why we use statistics to help us figure out what we should be doing. But of course, we're going to still manage our risk on top of this, just in case we are wrong, or just in case something out of the expected happens. So with the US dollar, we have an unconfirmed climate, meaning not enough probabilities either way. Keep away from it. Now we do have buyers here at 95.595 to 94.965. They've already worked to push price up. Price came into them before, hit the buyers and went up from there. That's why we want to know where the buyers are, because they push price up. Same with the sellers. We want to know where they are because they push price down. So we have sellers up here at 96.94 to 96.66. So overall, nothing to do here with the US dollar at the moment on a daily chart. Not enough probability either way. In terms of movement, we'd expect that the dollar would move up or down in 1 year by 6.62%. So in a day, that's 0.4 points. In a week, 0.88 points. And in a month, 1.84 points up or down. Okay, last market, which is backed Bitcoin. So take a look at this. As I load Bitcoin, just to highlight down here, to be a top trader, TOP is the name of our platform, our very own platform. Now, TOP stands for TRADDICTIV Options Planner, but you can still use that platform if you're a stocks or futures or maybe even a Forex trader as well for analysis sake. So check that out as well. It's got a great bunch of tools on there and all of the technology we use integrated with it. So with backed Bitcoin, we have confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot probability downwards. Now, we have sellers above us at 59,140 to 55,800. We have buyers beneath us at 32,820 to 31,615. we're closer to the sellers, but again, middly at around about 49,000. So unlikely that we would see either of these buyers or sellers make an impact today on these markets, but overall probability to the downside is coming here from the climate. So probability down for Bitcoin on a daily chart. In terms of volatility, we'd expect that Bitcoin would move up or down in 1 year of 88.79%. So in 1 day, that's 2,753.13 points up or down. In a week, 6,060.75 points up or down. And in a month, 12,616.45 points up or down. So that's backed Bitcoin. Now we've looked at each of our 5 markets, and for each of them what we've looked at is market climate, i.e. where are the probabilities, up, down or nowhere, on a daily chart of each of these markets. For that we used an app called AutoClimate, which shows us from the colours of the dots where we have probabilities, and therefore helps us figure out should we buy or sell or do nothing. We then looked at each of these markets and looked at buy and sell UFOs. UFOs, unfilled orders. Where are the buyers and where are the sellers? That could push price up or down respectively, and therefore give us an idea of where to buy and sell. And we looked at volatility, how quickly we expect the markets to move. So we looked at each of these elements per market. If it doesn't make sense or you have any questions, by all means reach out to me. You can email me or go to that link, tradewithufos.com/Becky. Post a question there and I can answer it there and we all learn. Just to round off before we finish, our weekly economic calendar, we get this from fxstreet.com and we filter by high impact news. We want to see which scheduled news reports are coming out that might impact the markets that we trade and increase volatility, which could also increase risk. Today being Thursday, we actually don't have anything. We had news coming out on Wednesday on a bunch of different countries, news coming out tomorrow on the euro and the US dollar or US markets, but nothing for Thursday. So we're safe in what we at least expect to come out, right? Of course, unexpected news, things happen all the time, but in terms of scheduled news reports, nothing to be aware of for today in major world markets. So again, if you have any questions, go to tradewithufos.com/Becky and you can get yourself apps or platforms if you want. You can book one-on-one coaching, you can ask questions. Hopefully you can get a lot from this link that might be able to help you. And some of these apps are free as well. So like I said, ask questions, get apps, do what you need in order to help. Please reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for the market commentary then. Have a great rest of your trading day and I will see you then. Take care.